Here's a psychology fact you're not ready for. You don't ignore reality because you're unaware. You ignore it because at some level, it feels safer not to see it. That sounds uncomfortable. Because if you're honest, there are things you already know. Things you avoid thinking about. A relationship that isn't right. A habit that's slowly hurting you. A truth you keep postponing. You feel it. You sense it. But you don't fully face it. If that hits a little too close, this is about you. Because the real question isn't, why do people ignore reality? The real question is, what is reality threatening inside you? First, let's slow this down. You're not blind, you're not foolish, and you're definitely not the only one. Your brain is not trying to deceive you. It's trying to protect you. One of the strongest reasons we ignore reality is emotional discomfort. Some truths don't just inform you, they change things. If you accept them, you have to act differently. You have to make decisions, set boundaries, end things, start things, and that creates pressure. So the brain does something subtle. It delays recognition. Not completely, just enough to keep things stable. You might notice this. In relationships, you feel something is off. Less connection, more distance, but you tell yourself it's just a phase because fully accepting it would force a conversation you're not ready for. And this is where it gets even deeper. Ignoring reality is often tied to identity. Some truths don't just change situations. They change how you see yourself. If you admit you chose the wrong path, you have to face the version of you who made that choice. If you admit something isn't working, you have to accept that your current life doesn't match your expectations, and that can feel threatening. So the brain protects identity. It softens reality. It reframes things. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I just need more time, because holding on to the current story feels safer than rewriting it. But here's where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't ignore reality all at once. It does it gradually, in small ways. You avoid certain thoughts. You distract yourself. You focus on other things. Not consciously, just enough to keep discomfort low. And this is where most people stop. They think it's just avoidance. But here's the part nobody tells you. Ignoring reality is also a form of control. When something feels uncertain, facing it directly can feel overwhelming. Too many unknowns, too many consequences, so the brain creates a pause, a space where nothing has to change yet, where things stay manageable. It's like dimming the lights instead of turning them off completely. You still see the truth, just not clearly enough to force action. And this shows up everywhere. Health, you notice small signs. Fatigue, discomfort, but you delay checking because knowing would require change. Career, you feel stuck, unfulfilled, but you stay because leaving means uncertainty. Habits, you know something isn't good for you, but you continue because stopping means facing discomfort. And this is where everything shifts. There's another layer most people miss. Time. The brain believes that delaying reality reduces its impact. If I don't think about it now, it won't feel as heavy. But reality doesn't disappear. It waits, and over time that quiet awareness stays in the background, a subtle tension, a feeling you can't fully explain. As you grow older, this pattern changes. When you're younger, ignoring reality feels easier. You have time, flexibility, room to adjust later. But with time, you start noticing something. Avoided truths don't go away. They grow, and eventually, they ask to be seen again. But even then, the brain doesn't completely stop protecting you. Because at its core, this behavior isn't about denial. It's about emotional regulation. Ignoring reality reduces immediate pain. It keeps things stable, predictable, manageable. It's like staying in a familiar room, even if the room no longer fits you, because stepping outside means facing the unknown. And there's something human in that. Wanting stability, wanting safety, wanting to feel okay, a little longer. But here's the quiet truth. Most people already know the reality they're avoiding. They just experience it in small flashes, moments of clarity, late-night thoughts, sudden realizations, and then the mind softens it again. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is trying to protect you from emotional overload. And when you really understand this, something shifts gently. You stop asking, Why am I like this? And start seeing what your mind has been doing all along. It wasn't trying to hide your life from you. It was trying to make sure you could handle it. When you finally chose to see it clearly,